Since it is April Fool's Week, I would just like to know what the biggest April Fools that you've fallen for in your life has been.
Well, you were born in April. I fell for you.
Oh, someone get me some ice for that burn.
The Gaming Lovers Podcast with Brendo and Jem.
G'day and welcome to episode 130 of the Gaming Lovers Podcast. I'm Jem.
I'm offended.
I offended.
Yeah, well. I'm Brendo. April Fools can be a good time, a bad time. Depends on which side of the deal you're on, I suppose.
Or a time that gets you dropping severely in the stock market.
Oh.
If you send out press releases saying this isn't a prank when it is a prank.
Oh.
Well done, Volkswagen. Anyways, we're going to be looking at some of the best gaming April Fools as well as some sad news. I feel like we've kind of covered this in a previous episode when PlayStation had officially announced the end of the Vita, but now it's really, really, really dead because they're closing a lot of digital things online. So
it's not dead yet. There's still a few months.
Very soon. So we're going to be taking a look at all of that and saying goodbye to a dear friend. What a cheery episode.
Oh, it's uplifting. I'm so happy.
Before we get there, though, gaming goals.
It is time for Gaming Goals, where we discuss our successes, failures, or complete indifference towards our video game goals that we set at the end of last episode. And apart from Stardew Valley, have you played anything this past fortnight? No. All right. So let's start with Stardew Valley, the co-op run that never ends. It just goes on and on, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
Some people started playing it,
not
knowing how dangerous it was going to be to their time.
You have no one to blame but yourself. Mr. It's Valentine's Day. Let's play this together. It will be fun. And now you're addicted. You've been greatly enjoying the island life, the little island with Leo that you can go off to and collecting your golden walnuts and key beans. And
it's been very good that I did do that key with a QI, key fruit challenge. Now we have connecting chests. So I have a treasure chest on the island. You have a treasure chest of the farmland.
We have vanishing cabinets.
Wonderful.
From Harry Potter.
The wizarding world of Stardew Valley. There is a wizard in Stardew Valley. So that's
and
fair.
A witch. I'm not a witch, I'm your wife. Sorry. While you have been exploring all the new content, I have just been turning our farm into a money-making beast. So I've conquered
I don't feel like conquered should be term used in Stardew Valley.
I have mastered then, let's say that. I have mastered the art of brewery and artisan goods. We've got that down to a well-oiled machine. We've got several fish ponds now. We finally have blobfish whenever we want them.
Oh,
and
living the dream.
They're delicious blobfish eggs to turn into roe, because who doesn't want to eat blobfish caviar?
I'm gagging.
Just picture it now. Can you picture it now?
I threw up in my mouth.
You know
disgusting.
those little fish eggs that show up on beaches that look kind of like jellyfish, but they're not jellyfish?
Tim, stop it.
That's what I imagine the roe to look like.
I will vomit in our recording booth if we keep talking about blobfish eggs. Aged blobfish eggs.
Yes, even grosser.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that's all well and good, and now I did some research into the slime hutch, and I think I found a way to make the most out of that too. And I've set up sprinklers in there because it used to be that you had to go in there and manually water it every day for them to create the little droplets that they make everywhere. However, now with the new patch, you can put sprinklers in, you can put other things and flooring stuff down and shape the space to make it a little easier so that you're not contending with, 20 slimes coming at you as soon as you walk in the door.
Oh.
And you can kind of leave it for a couple of days, and they'll just keep generating those little gel blob things. And so it's a nice passive.
What sort of
method
farm
of
are we running here?
income.
Blobfish eggs,
A money
slime
making
blobs.
one.
Oh, goodness.
So
What an economy.
yeah, well, that and our dino mayonnaise, which feels wrong. I have no qualms with normal eggs, but for some reason putting in that dino egg into the mayonnaise machine feels wrong. I feel guilty. I don't know why.
Can't wait to taste those burgers at Jurassic Park.
No.
Dino mayo, baby.
So long as they don't have like the ink sauce from like those ones that like do the spray in the eyes.
Yeah, no.
You know, people use like squid ink as a sauce on pasta and stuff. Like that's just what I imagine now.
Dino phlegm.
Ew.
Acidic dino phlegm. Beautiful.
Ugh. But then it would just melt your burger if it's acidic.
Speaking of dinosaurs, I have defeated several of them in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot in the past 2 weeks.
There's dinosaurs?
There are plenty of dinosaurs.
I have no memory of dinosaurs in that show.
Gohan gets chased by one in the
Ah,
intro
yep.
sequence.
Mhm.
He runs towards the camera while the dinosaur tries to eat him. Now, the funny thing about the dinosaurs in this game is they can't actually damage you. They can only bump you. And it doesn't seem like much of a threat, really. Giant Tyrannosaurus style thing? No. No danger. No danger at all. Now, if you thought the Dragon Ball Z anime had some filler episodes here and there, my goodness, this game has filler to the brim. Between main story beats, there is plenty still to do, and not all of it feels very important. But at the moment, I am still enjoying it. My gaming goal was to reach the Saiyan Saga, and, surprise, surprise, I'm an overachiever. I defeated the Saiyan Saga. The fight against Vegeta, actually fairly tough, with a bit of a difficulty spike compared to the rest of the fights beforehand, but I have done it. I have enjoyed it. And now I am in some sort of weird intermission limbo thing, in between sagas, doing stuff that is not actually relevant to the anime. Now, one of the interesting things about Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is that if you are a Dragon Ball Z fan, you will enjoy playing this more than anyone else who just picks it up looking for a good game. Now, if you're a entire Dragon Ball Saga fan, you will get even more out of it because tucked away in this open world are characters from the original Dragon Ball series when Goku is a kid. So I have interacted with Emperor Pilaf and his hench dog and henchwoman. I have seen Mercenary Tao. I have seen Nam, who was part of one of the martial arts tournaments. All these minor characters who people, if all they know is Dragon Ball Z, will have no idea who these people are. And for someone like myself who has put in the effort recently over the past couple of years to watch all of original Dragon Ball, and I am over halfway through Dragon Ball Z, watching it with Player 3 in our morning wake-up sessions as we slowly start our engines for the day. Having that on in the background while playing with a tot is quite fun, and I am still enjoying Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. The fighting is semi-repetitive. The open world stuff is very much just fetch questy, but I'm still having fun because of the cast of characters fully voice acted. I love it. Okay, well maybe love it is a bit of a strong term, but I'm still having a good time with Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. The other game I have been playing at the moment is Kingdom Hearts 3. You've been continuing your adventures in Guess the Voice Actor, Guess the Legitimate Voice Actor, Guess the Imposter Voice Actor. I have finished my run through Monstropolis, and that was actually very enjoyable, with some well-cast voice matches and a rather sinister Randall who threatened to kill us repeatedly. Is this game for kids or not for kids? I don't know anymore, and Randall's behaviour has me questioning what I thought was true about Kingdom Hearts. I'm not sure.
How so?
Well, just the way he sets up like a death trap maze for you to run through and says, you're not going to get out of here alive. That seems like a level above Disney villain, doesn't it?
I don't know. They're pretty hardcore, even early days. Sleeping Beauty, original Maleficent. You know, Sleeping Beauty was supposed to die upon pricking her finger, not just fall into a coma. It was only because the fairy changed it slightly. So they've never really shied away from death and stuff like that. It's not like they've shown anything overly gory. They're just, it's a reality, I think, that they inject. And that's why so many characters have dead parents.
Also very true. Okay, maybe Disney's not so pure and innocent that I thought it was.
It's really not.
I have made it about halfway through the Frozen level of Arendelle and still in probably the first half of the game, but progress a bit slower with Kingdom Hearts 3, a bit slower than I anticipated. But if you're taking your time and enjoying games, there is no rush, right? And really that's it. I mean, Stardew Valley has sapped a fair bit of time out of a gaming schedule.
Yes,
it has been a busy, busy fortnight as well in our personal lives and gaming goals. That's all we have to report.
Sorry that I did not even touch Persona 5 Strikers. My apologies. For whatever reason, just have not been in the headspace. Maybe because I've left it alone for too long, I'm just kind of like, I just want to play Stardew Valley. Want something more chill and laid back.
I don't know. I've seen your farming schedule on every single calendar day in that game. It does not seem chill.
If I was doing that work in real life, then that would so not be chill. But in a video game with that music, it is. And because there is a rhythm and a repetition to it, it can be soothing in its own way, weirdly enough. So more on our future gaming goals later on in this episode, but up next, some of the best video game April Fool's pranks.
You're listening to the Gaming Lovers Podcast. Want to join the conversation? Visit thegaminglovers.com. Record your comment or question by clicking on the button on the right-hand side, and you could be featured in the next podcast.
It is the day that pranksters look forward to all year, and it is the day that gullible people seem to forget about somehow every year. Every year, my mum falls for that prank video from the dodo about a giant dog, and I don't understand how she doesn't see those photos and think that that's clearly fake. But anyways, I quite enjoy a good prank, so long as it's not, super harmful to anybody.
Correct. As long as no one gets hurt.
Yeah.
We can all have a good laugh.
Exactly. So I think a lot of companies especially are using April 1st as a bit of a PR stunt as well. If they can do a good prank for April Fools, then it can make, global news, go viral, all that kind of stuff. So some of the ones that have caught our attention for 2021 in local, I guess, April Fool's pranks, we always talk about EB, which is kind of our GameSpot video game store. And we've talked about in the past how they always have sales on constantly, to the point where it's a bit of an Australian joke to very sarcastically say, oh, is EB having a sale? And they embrace that. I believe, was it last year or the year before, they actually made a real perfume called Saleh. And they sold it for like a day, and the money raised went to a charity. And they've repeated the process. It's not perfume, sadly, this time around, but a hat and T-shirt with the little sale stickers kind of pattern all over it. Very stylish.
High fashion.
Oh, very
Absolutely.
high fashion. And again, all the money raised going to charity. I think that's very cool to both have fun and support charity. It looks good for them publicity-wise. to garner all that attention and not for their own sake either.
And speaking of EB games, one store in Western Australia did put some brand new titles that we've all been waiting for on the pre-order shelf, including Frasier for Nintendo Switch, Laundry Day for PS4, Cats VR, the musical.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Could you imagine? And one that you were actually legitimately upset was not really a game, Daria.
Yeah. I legit think that could be very fun. Don't know how they'd necessarily adapt it, but it could work. Maybe in more of a Telltale, Life is Strange-esque style of gameplay. Could be fun.
Could be.
With Beavis and Butthead making a resurgence onto our TV screen soon, you know what? I want Daria back. I don't know if she would necessarily be
Compatible?
Yeah, maybe with today's time. She might have aged poorly, as some TV shows and movies and stuff have. But I will always have a soft spot for Daria in my heart. Now, I'm going to start with just some quick mentions and then end on one of my favourites out of the April Fool prank.
Mm-hmm.
So, for the game For Honor has decided to release a kid-friendly version of their game, making it a bit more preschool-esque, all the combat with squeaky toy sound effects, very fun voiceover, sound very much like, you know, kids getting told off for leaving their toys out, that kind of deal. Very fun, very clever. The risk of companies putting out little things like this is that people will want them to be real.
Yes, absolutely. Be careful what you tease the gaming community with.
Yes.
They may just want it more than your actual product.
Overwatch has added googly eyes on all their characters, and they've made it an optional thing so you can switch it on and off because some people apparently don't enjoy looking at their favourite Overwatch characters with googly eyes, which to me just seems really sad that there are people like that in the world. Control has demake? How would you say this?
Demake.
Gone backwards, devolved, with Control basically looking like it's on the original PlayStation.
Love it. I love a good
with
demake.
bad graphics and everything. And it's not even like, 8-bit art, which is so cutesy and retro these days that, a lot of indie games go into it. It's kind of that clunky era in between kind of graphics.
I would still play the heck out of it, I reckon, if it came out in that era.
Mm-hmm. Rainbow Six Siege has added a bit of colour with a special event saying rainbow is magic, and that's playable for just a couple of days.
Mm.
So a splash of colour.
It's always nice when it's not just a tease of something, but it's actually a functional game mode that they've put the effort into.
And you can participate in the fun and in the prank. Here's one that I think you will like, Brendo. G Fuel, the gaming drink, as they brand themselves,
Tasty.
has partnered up with Sonic for a special drink flavour.
Oh.
Chili dog flavoured drink.
Oh. Please tell me that's not legitimate.
Well, there's a wait list. Whether it will ever be fulfilled or not, I don't know. That just sounds like something that would make you vomit instantly.
Having said that, I would still eat that ahead of having blobfish roe.
Pokemon Sword and Shield Max Raid event was Magikarp.
Oh, disappointing.
A real flop. Get it?
Yes.
I like it because it's like a legitimate thing that happened, but they pranked them with it being a dud. Here's a fun one. Razer, who are known for their PC
accessories, yes.
Gaming computers, especially the rainbowish keyboard that you can then decide, you can choose the color it is and you can tweak it and make it like a rainbow if you so desire. Well, they have come up with a special technical hair dye where you can, on your phone, change your hair color at will and make it glow and flicker and be a rainbow, and to really help you get extra views on those live streams. So that was the angle that they were going for.
Such amazing technology these
I know,
days.
and
It's just incredible.
And it looked so much easier than doing normal hair dye, just rubbing a little bit on the strands and then bam, it works.
Bam, hit him with his spice weasel.
The indie game Moving Out,
Mm-hmm.
which we have thoroughly enjoyed, posted a fake trailer for an animated series that is coming soon. ...
Which
but
fit like an 80s, 90s
kind
sitcom.
of Family Matters-esque opening credits using footage from the actual video game, which is a bit fun. I think that's what I've been enjoying too, is the level of effort. It's not just a picture, it's, you know, a full-on video. Or sometimes it's full-on remaking something with different graphics and stuff like that. It's a lot more effort than most other companies have put into their April Fool's pranks, can I just say? All right. And look, there's been so many others, but how can I go past the Bug Snacks saying, our market research shows that bugs are considered creepy and extremely off-putting. So we're rebranding to Unbug Our Snacks. And they redid the whole song intro and removed bug. So it's, oh, snacks.
And it's just a burger sitting on the ground instead of crawling.
And just a donut roll. all the food has been debugged.
Now, having said that, Player 3 did eat a bug today, and it was quite off-putting. So it is true.
It was his first bug.
I think this is a wise choice by young horses.
And if you have played the game and know the ending, then in a way,
Wowee.
you're kind of like, well,
Let's not get too deep into it.
nearly you went heavy spoiler territory there. I had to bite my tongue. So those are some of the best or eyebrow-raising April Fool's pranks in the gaming community. As far as just in general, though, I think the one that caught my attention and I saw a lot of people talking about on social media on my feeds was Krispy Kreme sharing
Glaze in a jar.
yeah, the original glaze, and everyone's like, "Don't tease us, make this real," which would be very dangerous for my thighs.
Not Subway's coriander cookie?
Ugh. Which they released a day early on social media in New Zealand, which is, I think, one of the first countries in the world like that a day starts. But they still posted it like 3 hours too early.
Premature.
Yep. Well done, social media team. We're back right after this with our sad farewell to all things PlayStation Vita.
Share the love. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Gaming Lovers.
I have to admit, this generation I have come around a bit more as to being more of a digital gamer. Downloading things, having extra storage available, and just changing games on the fly, here and there, whatever takes your fancy. There's no swapping discs. It's all good. But we were reminded of the downfall of digital-only storefronts this week as big news was officially confirmed that the PSP, PS Vita and the PS3 PlayStation stores will be discontinued, sayonara, bayonara, mid of this year.
Chowski.
No. Chowski is a fun goodbye.
Well, you use my bayonara. You get to use mine, I get to use yours. Anyway, it is very sad. We knew it was coming, but when it's made official, it's just, you kind of get that second wave of sadness all over again. Going through the stages of grief here. But interestingly, you raised some good points, like with digital games. like Resident Evil. Look, there have been a lot of remakes, but the original trilogy, I believe, is only available currently, as it stands, on the PlayStation 3 store.
And the PS Vita. And without those two avenues, this will be the first time since they were originally added that the classic Resident Evil 1, 2 and 3 will not be available digitally anywhere. PC excluded, I suppose, but yeah, it's just difficult. It is no secret that the PlayStation Vita, pre-Switch years, was our most beloved portable handheld ever.
Yep.
And Jem and myself enjoyed a lot of games on that. But here in Australia in particular, Vita cartridges were not readily available in stores.
No.
And so a lot of games that we did purchase were done digitally.
Now, is the digital store, I feel like I need to ask, does that include the whole world or is it just the West? Because
The whole
Vita
world.
was still alive and kicking in Japan. So I wouldn't be shocked if they left it for just them to keep going.
I believe it is the whole world. But the Vita's time has come and gone. Anything that you have already added to your library can still be re-downloaded after the fact. You just cannot browse and purchase things. We cannot give Sony our money, it seems.
Yeah. All good things must come to an end eventually. It is a little sad to say goodbye to that era. ERA, not ERROR.
It was, yeah, well, both are fitting right now. I'm offended.
Oh, I guess in the limited time that we have before it does shut, now's the time to get any games that we weren't sure or we wanted to get but haven't gotten yet, and download and just kind of stock up before it's officially closed.
Yeah, and I've always been against piracy when it comes to video gaming. But when these sort of things happen, the only option left, if you cannot import a game and you cannot buy it digitally, what is the other option? It's going to be piracy.
Yeah.
So I will look the other way while people pirate the Vita for a change, because it's the only way my little Frankenstein's monster will continue to live.
To be fair, several games from the Vita have found a second life on the PlayStation 5.
This is true.
So he's hoping that more and more stuff gets added to their library. It would be nice to see them get added to PlayStation Plus just as, extra bonuses each month. And I would like to see that if you're logged in with your account and you've already bought the game on the Vita, I would love to see them acknowledge that and let you download it for free on the PlayStation 5. Don't know if that will happen because, that would be them giving up money. But
Well, they're not getting any money anyway.
True.
If the store shuts.
I don't know. But here's hoping, because, some visual novels have made it across. I'm hoping that they'll do that for more and more games. They certainly deserve to keep on going, especially the Persona series. I'm shocked, really, that it's only Persona 5 that's kind of on main consoles and not the others yet.
Persona 3 Portable will no longer be available to you because that is a PSP game available on PSPs or PS Vitas. And that's it. That's the only way that game is available at the moment. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for the joy you've brought into our life. We hope you find new life in New Game Plus. Getting upgraded.
Where's my Persona 3 Platinum? The super duper enhanced edition. It needs to be made.
I would honestly think, I would love to see that remastered and also the female protagonist version given a polish up, because that's a much simplified version. I don't know if they have the time or energy to pour into that when they're, been focusing more on recent IPs, which is fair enough. But I would love it nonetheless.
Me too.
Among many other things. But then it would probably just end up on my backlog because I can't even get through Persona 5 Strikers. Okay. Whew. Thank you, PlayStation Vita. Thank you, PlayStation Portable. Thank you, PlayStation 3.
What are the big questions? DLC? Can you still get DLC? Can you still download patches for games that you've already purchased?
You're asking me like I'm from Sony and I can answer these questions.
I don't have these answers.
Well, ask them.
I just did.
Ask
Sony,
them. Like,
get back
go
to me.
ask them.
They listen to this podcast.
Yes, the big wigs from Sony listen religiously to the Gaming Lovers podcast.
Wigs come in all sizes. They're not all big wigs.
Yeah, the little toupees. Oh, we're starting to get silly now. I think it's time for future gaming goals. Any grand promises you want to make that you have no intention of keeping?
I am entrenched in my two main games of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot and Kingdom Hearts 3. I will call it Dragon Ball Z, even though here in Australia we use the word Z, not Z. But the TV show
Dragon Ball Z
is called Dragon Ball Z. But in Japanese, it was called Dragon Ball Zeto. So what do you do? What do you do?
Zeto.
What do you call it? Z or Z? Dragon Ball Z.
Well,
Kakarot.
in the Wiggles, when they do the alphabet, they do Z or Z.
Yeah.
They say both. Just.
And we know that because we're parents now. So
We've heard
something I've learned in the past
all those
year.
songs many times and many more in our future. Huzzah.
So Kingdom Hearts, I'll try and finish Arendelle for sure and see what comes next. Dragon Ball Z, I just hope to get to the Ginyu Force because they're one of my favourite parts of the anime. So let's see if I can make that happen on the planet Namek. What about yourself, though? What goals are you setting?
Well, we're going to be away for a little while because of Easter. So I'm not going to be able to play Persona 5 Strikers then. But maybe the second week when we're back. No promises. But I am bringing my Vita.
Oh.
I've dusted it off and got it charging, and I have several visual novels that I bought in the States that I might have done like one run through, but I have not really finished. So in a way, traveling is good for reading and I can enjoy that on the road. So I don't know which game in particular is going to take my fancy. I just promised to play the Vita and give it hugs as thanks for all the fond memories. It's so emotional.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Gaming Lovers podcast, and we'd like to know what your recommendations are for any games to scoop up on the PSP, the PS Vita, or the PS3 before they're gone for good.
So long, farewell, Mayonara.
And Chelsea as well. Please do not forget about me. Don't you
Forget about me now.
Oh.
Thanks for listening to the Gaming Lovers podcast. For more episodes or to watch some live stream gaming, visit thegaminglovers.com.